couldn't talk peace with me. They tried, and I was like, nigga, this schoolyard.
It's your boy Crypto Blood, and I want to introduce you guys to a new exchange, BitYard. They do cryptocurrency contracts. If you're like me, an active trader, you're probably sick of the market manipulations, forced liquidations, accurate Bitcoin reference rates over at BitYard with K-line weighted averages, no VPN hassle, available for U.S. citizens, and fully regulated in Singapore, Australia, Estonia, and the U.S. Profit losses are all in USD as well, and no fees with U.S. withdrawals. And most importantly, you can do deposits with fiat. Unlike BitMEX, you can't do that, right? So check out bityard.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is July 13th, 2020, and today's song request comes from Wire Sparks. Thank you for that, Trap Boy Freddy. Little Keita, thank you for the song request, man. It's some down south stuff right here. Welcome to another episode. Hope everyone's doing well out there today. We're looking at Chainalysis raising another $13 million as they double down on government ties. We need to keep track of what's going on in the crypto blockchain intelligence category because it's going to be more and more important for us to monitor this as they become more aggressive and better at tracking your coins and who owns what, so on and so forth. So that's just a quick one I want to update you guys on. That was from last week, and today, this came out earlier, SEC and CFTC launched joint attack on crypto stocks platform Abra. This is no good, man. We're going to look into the details. They had to pay over $300,000, and I'll let you know also what else happened with that situation. And lastly, why Bitcoin hash rate just reached an all-time new high. Wow, people thought it was over just because we saw a dip in the hash rate, as you can see from this chart. We'll look at the details and talk about why this is happening. Is this a bullish sign for crypto, for Bitcoin? I think so. The more people put their money where their mouths is, and that is in either buying cryptos or buying equipment to mine cryptos, that's a bullish sign to me in the long run. Maybe not short term, but definitely a long-term play with that type of fundamental news. All three articles coming up on today's episode of My Two Satoshis. But before we start, if you guys find these types of videos informative, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. So let's take a look at the heat map today. We got Bitcoin up 0.25%, just about to 9,261 bucks. Ethereum up just over 0.33% to 238 bucks. Binance up slightly today, but Tezos is on a tear, and ADA up 5% today. We've got Litecoin down, EOS is down, TRX is down, and Algorand is down as well. So it's a mixture, mostly green today for the crypto markets. But if we look technically, I mean, we are going absolutely nowhere. Volume is low, price action is low. It has been really, if we go all the way back to end of April, and since end of April, we have been in a pretty much sideways moving market. So we know that means that potential energy is building, and I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm hoping up, but it's so hard to tell. I mean, we did get rejected at the 94.63 area, but it looks as though we're trending slightly higher still if I do a trend line like this. So, you know, we still have the possibility of a pennant here and us seeing an explosion upwards here in the next day or two. So that's really the only thing I have right now. That looks pretty positive as well, in my opinion. But let's take a look at the first article for today. Crypto tracer Chainalysis raises another $13 million as it doubles down on government ties. Looks like cryptocurrency intelligence firm said Tuesday it has raised another $13 million in a Series B financing from Ribbit Capital and Sound Ventures, bringing the total for the round to over $49 million. As part of the deal, the New York City-based company, of course, which builds software that traces cryptocurrency transactions, is adding Ribbit Capital General Partners as an advisor and a former high-ranking Treasury Department official. Chainalysis said the new investment will help it grow and deepen its government relationships. America's federal agency Alphabet Soup frequently inks seven-figure software licensing deals with Chainalysis, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Securities and Exchange Commission. Altogether, shelled out nearly $2 million in the past 2 months alone. That shows you guys The governments are starting to really heat up when it comes to surveillance on the blockchain. You got to start using these mixers to obfuscate your transactions. I was using smartmixer.io for a while, and thank God I wasn't in the middle of actually using them at that time, but they went down. Haven't heard anything about what's going on there. I really liked using them because of the interface, very easy interface. The other mixer that I use that has been around a lot longer than Smart Mixer is chipmixer.com. They've been around for a long time. OG Mixer, you can use them as well, but it's a little more, or I should say less intuitive to use Chip Mixer. So you got to really go through it, maybe do some small transactions before actually doing a bigger sum of money when mixing. So yeah, chipmixer.com, check it out if you want to get your mix on. And to continue with this article, it talks about how Chainalysis tracing tools are actually growing outside the US. Reactor, its flagship investigative product, has increased its revenue from new agency partners and foreign government customers 400% since 2019. That's just last year, according to the company. But the space of crypto analytics is growing. Coinbase closed its first U.S. government deal with the Secret Service in May. So it's starting to heat up. Just you guys got to understand what's going on here. And the landscape has definitely changed since early days in crypto. So you got to be aware of that. Decrypt Media, SEC, CFTC launches a joint attack on crypto stocks platform Abra. They strike the crypto investment platform Abra, which lets users trade tokenized versions of stocks. The SEC claims that Abra was offering unregistered securities. Abra must pay $300,000 in fines as well as stop offering tokenized stocks. That was a huge part of their business model. It goes on to say the joint strike against Abra, which also operates under the name Plutus Financial, must pay $300,000 in fines, split evenly between the SEC and CFTC. Abra also agreed to stop offering tokenized stocks, which were the products that made the California-based startup stand out. Now Abra is back to being a plain old crypto investment platform and wallet. These tokens Abra sold, though, weren't actually backed by stocks. They were just representing by them. SEC claimed that these tokenized stocks were securities-based swaps subject to U.S. security laws, and the CFTC said that Abra engaged in unlawful off-exchange swaps trading. So, tokenized or not, the same rules still apply, and for Abra to offer those services legitimately, it should have serviced only eligible contract participants, according to the SEC's order. This means either non-U.S. residents or U.S. residents who meet certain conditions, such as individuals who have at least $5 million and often $10 million invested on a discretionary basis. So, this is the problem I'm seeing with these alphabet organizations like the SEC and the CFTC. They only protect you from not being able to make money. They don't really protect you from fraud. They protect you from not being able to enter various markets and make money 10x, 100x on your money, unless you have 5 million or 10 million to invest, which is just totally insane. They'll let you play the lottery, but they won't let you invest in a tokenized stock offering. Makes no sense to me. That is the world we live in, though, people. And this whole situation with Abra brings up an important question regarding DeFi. Are the SEC and CFTC going to attack DeFi next? We all know that DeFi is not actually decentralized at this point for the most part. It says that note that legal construct Abra used in seeing these swap contracts be utilized is essentially the same that is underlying most DeFi products. So it says, hence, they can potentially face the same exact charges. Catherine Wu, a venture capitalist at Notation Capital, tweeted, the reality here now is that any crypto business that wants to onboard the next million non-crypto native users by touching fiat or traditional fintech products will have to navigate intense financial regulations and requirements, which is the reason why cryptos were even created. Now, you add those regulations on top of everything, it adds friction, it adds cost, and ultimately we're going to be back at square one, where you just might as well use the TD Waterhouse, the TD Ameritrade, or Schwab, or whatever. And honestly, at this point, those services are free. You can trade stocks for free, versus over here where they're going to start regulating it so much where the business model can't operate under a free or a non-service fee environment. So I don't know, man. I think they're going to try very hard to regulate a lot of this cutting edge technology that's being used in the blockchain. They're trying to regulate it all the way out to oblivion, to zero. So I guess it's a good thing because it'll force these so-called DeFi projects to actually go decentralized, and that way no government agency can really mess with it. You may start seeing a lot of these services that you use in the crypto world have to go underground, Tor addresses, and because they can start shutting down these domain names. They own them, right? So we'll see what happens with that. The last article I do want to touch on today, though, is the Bitcoin hash rate. Yes, it has just hit another all-time high. Bitcoin's hash rate, it says, recently hit a new all-time high of more than 125 exahashes, meaning that the network of the world's largest cryptocurrency is now the strongest it has ever been. It says because of this spike, the mining difficulty is expected to adjust 9.52% on July 13th. That is today. The new peak flies in the face of the mining death spiral narrative that was pervasive in the run-up in May's supply cut, which was the halving. Doomsayers claimed that miners would be switching off their equipment in droves due to the 50% reduction of their payouts. But every halving, I think that is a serious concern, or should be, for people. Like, at some point, you know, the incentive to mine, unless the price of Bitcoin continues to really go up, it has to continually head higher for these mining or halving events to not be a death spiral for sure. So that's kind of the worry every time we lead up to a new halving event every 4 years. That in itself can be the only fundamental reason that Bitcoin needs and has to go higher. If anything, just for the miners to stay alive and keep their mining operations going. A lot of capital has been invested in Bitcoin's network for mining. Last week, Today reported that Bitcoin's energy value, which is used to determine the intrinsic value of the network, also reached a new all-time high. This was followed by the information of another hash ribbon buy signal that took place on July 12th. So we'll see what happens here. A lot of fundamentally good news for Bitcoin to continue to head higher, especially with that hash rate now over 125 terahashes. And we can actually take a look at the charts live now with the total terahashes currently sitting at 124.42 million terahashes. That's pretty much it for today, ladies and gents. Shout out to my guy, a premium YouTube member, Wired Sparks, for the song request, Trap Boy Freddy, Little Kia. If you found this video informative, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. I'm out of here, people. Holla!